Good day, YouTubers. Back with part 2 of my first video. If you're seeing this video first, I guess I do need to do some explaining. Last night, it is now the next day, I filmed a video and I captured how much water my sidekick washer used during a regular wash cycle, because I was curious to find out if it was actually more efficient to run your full-size front loader, or the little mini washer that goes underneath the front loader. And this is the portion of the video where we test the front loader. So last night, the sidekick washer accumulated about 6 1/4 inches worth of water into this huge Tupperware. No, this is not Tupperware. Storage container. Yeah. And today we're gonna find out what this one does. So we're gonna use the same amount of laundry. 4 of my shirts. I wanted to make it as apples to apples comparison as possible. Obviously, this machine puts as much water as what's needed. This can hold and wash effectively around 4 shirts. So this is the scenario in which you would probably want to use your sidekick as opposed to a full-size washer. With this ability to, measure the water based on the weight, it's going to give it an advantage over this one, because this one just fills and drains like a typical top loader. And we're going to see what happens. I need some good old tags. Oh, shit. Of course, that would happen in the middle of my recording. Fortunately, there wasn't that much water left in it, so it didn't make a huge mess. Okay, all we need is a drop. Okay. Now, me personally, I think the front loader is going to win. They are extremely efficient. And it's already winning at one significant thing, which is time. Yesterday, this guy down here, sidekick, took 39 minutes on a regular cycle. No adjustments were made, just straight out of the box. Normal cycle. Time versus time, the front loader already wins. It is 27 minutes to wash the same amount of clothing. The sidekick would have taken 39, well, it did take 39 minutes to wash. Now we're gonna find out if it's more efficient from a water saving standpoint to run your sidekick or your front load washer. I guess we just have to stay tuned. There are a few other reasons why the sidekick's basically a waste of time and money. When it comes to comparing it, to the front loader, in my opinion, obviously, if you have like a lot of delicates, but maybe not enough to run a delicate cycle, you can maybe use a sidekick. But even then, the delicate cycle in the front loader is pretty good as well. So I really don't know what the purpose of this thing is if it does not win this competition. But I guess we have to stay tuned to find out. Wash performance, I'm not sure which one's better. The sidekick's pretty good. It gets pretty aggressive agitation. I have seen it operating with door open before. But another huge win for the front loader, it spins faster. So that's going to have a reduction in your dry times, which ultimately goes to, you know, how efficient your setup is. So it's not looking too good for the little guy down there. We're going to find out though. I'm so excited to see what the results are. I don't know why my drain pipe isn't coming out more. Let's see if I can get some more length on this. Pretty extended. To mention, you can watch your clothes get sudsy. So I probably have too much soap in there. Although I only put a drop. But yeah, the front load is way more appealing to look at for those who like to look at their laundry. It's another win. I have to put my phone on airplane mode. And I'm not sure if I should interrupt this video or not. I don't know what's gonna happen if someone calls me. I'm gonna be so upset. I guess I can always edit. Alright, so the water that's in here right now, you know how like when you start the machine, it initiates the drain pump? This is kind of what was like left over in the hose. So sorta doesn't count, but you know, just a little disclaimer for Team Front Loader. I don't like recording during the day. All my mess shows up on the camera. Screw it. Welcome to my life. It's my basement, who cares? I'm probably gonna like speed through a lot of this. No worries. Man, it's not looking good for the sidekick. Oh, one important thing. Yeah, one thing to mention. My front load washer, my main washer, is modified. Not quite a bit, a little bit. When I do buy new washing machines, this is my second LG. I didn't have a problem with my first one. This was just an upgrade because it was beautiful and it was huge and I just had to have it. But when I do get them, I modify the water valves because LG is ridiculously conservative with how much water they use. And I didn't tweak it a lot, but if the front loader does win, it would just be, you know, by a wider margin than what a factory setup, you know, front load washer would consume in terms of water. Mine is at a slight disadvantage. Not by much. If you do tweak your water valve, you don't want to do it too much, because your washing machine will lose its ability to pick up the clothes, bring them to the top of the drum, and drop it, which is very important in its ability to wash the clothes. But it is tweaked just a little bit. I had to put that little disclaimer in there. See how it gets close to the top of the drum? If it's too much water, it'll just glide over the steppers. So this is exactly where you want it to be. You want your clothes getting wet, but you don't want it like up to the glass with water. Like, that's not gonna effectively clean your clothes. Not as effectively as it could. It's clothes everywhere behind me. But I work 7 days a week, so I literally do not have time. This thing made a bigger mess than I thought it did. Alright, down to 17 minutes. Front loader is whooping ass so far. Now, for those that are environmentally conscious and you want to wash your clothes the most efficient way possible, which could be a reason why you've purchased the sidekick to begin with, you know, thinking that you were being conservative using the smaller washer when you didn't need a bigger one. And who knows, you know, the sidekick may win, I don't know. But one thing to keep in mind when using your front loader, it does have the ability to sense suds. So what they will do to compensate that, to dilute the water, it'll add more water before the spin cycle occurs. So make sure you stick to the recommended dosage for soap usage. Because that could also lead to, you know, how it could also lead to your machine using more water than it actually needs to get your clothes done. Just a little FYI for people who know that. Alright, we're safe now. We have liftoff. I'm gonna try and do a math equation to get the exact amount of gallons. I figure if I measure this thing with, well, get like the square footage or the cubic inches, I may be able to like find some formula where I can give you how much water is actually being pumped in here, as opposed to just like the height of the water. But yeah, I can tell you that by the end of the wash cycle, this portion was definitely underwater with the sidekick. But it's not fully done yet. For some bizarre reason, it likes to drain in stages and fill in stages. Super annoying sometimes. Especially if you're in a rush like right now. But it's not looking good for the sidekick. The front loader is going to use more water for the rinse cycle though. And for this particular wash cycle, like in the turbo rinse, it uses like a lot of the it sprays water from the atomizer during the rinse cycle, so it's probably gonna produce quite a bit more water. We're gonna see. It might catch up to the sidekick. Go. Atomizer is spraying. Oh, little bar is covered now. So the time advantage that the front loader has right now probably has something to do with that little bit more water it used to help rinse the clothes during the spin cycle, whereas the sidekick didn't have that option. But it's still looking like the front loader's in the lead. Just an eye test, I'm not 100% sure. Now we're about to go through the turbo rinse cycle. It's very, very effective, very aggressive. This probably wouldn't occur on a delicate cycle, but it is what it is. We're checking for normal washes right now. Robert needs a haircut. Don't mind me, guys. minutes remaining. Woo! Everything's nice and smooth. Now, one thing I can say about the sidekick that the front loaders sometimes suffer with, and sometimes that time can get extended very easily if the front loader has an issue balancing the clothes. However, if we're going to compare the load size to what the capacity of a sidekick is, there'll rarely ever be a circumstance in which a front loader, at least of this size and build quality, is going to have an issue balancing the full capacity comparison of a sidekick. Like, it's only going to have an issue with like a heavier load. Towels, you know, comforters and stuff like that, those extend the time quite a bit. But in the case of something this small, which, you know, you have to take that into consideration, the front loader is going to be pretty much on point with how fast it's going to get the load done. Because the one thing about a sidekick, if it says 39 minutes, it's going to get it done in 39 minutes. Whereas this thing can say 27 and sometimes end up being 32. But so far this video is 21 minutes long. We have 8 minutes left, so she's pretty actually it's ahead of schedule a little bit because I started recording before I started washing. With that being said, I brought this up last night. You also have the advantage of not having to sit there and wait for the washer to call for fabric softener. Whereas you need to be there physically present to add the fabric softener to the sidekick. You don't need to be there for the front loader. So you can set it and forget it. The front loader has Wi-Fi capability, so when it is ready, it'll text you and let you know that it's ready. These are all reasons why, you know, the sidekick is kind of pointless, in my opinion. You love yours. Proceed. Sorry, LG. You guys are probably gonna hate me for making this video. I mean, I love your products, but... And again, there are gonna be circumstances in which a sidekick are useful, and I'll go over those as well. This is not gonna be a bashing setting. I did make these purchases with my own money, so I don't want to feel like I wasted my money either. But the rinse cycle used a lot of water, so this is normal because it wants to get the soap out as best as possible. But this is where the front loader might catch up to the sidekick. We're gonna see. Where's my tape measure? Oh. See, with light loads like this, the balancing is very, very good. It almost gets it done, well, it gets it done in one attempt. Ooh, it is not looking good for the sidekick. But it's not done yet, so let's be fair. Oof, I didn't know this was gonna happen twice. But it's not gonna be as long because we only have 1 minute left, or 2 minutes left, and it still has to wring that water out. So, yeah, see, it's probably 5 seconds. Oh shit, start it again. Stop with the water! Alright, it should be done. Let's do it, check the water. shut off the drain pipe, about the drain pump. Shouldn't be any more water. It spins extremely fast. And this is not even the top speed. There's one more speed faster than this. Okay. And my text message. In conclusion, this is how much the front loader used. Woo! And just as I thought, 6 inches. 6 inches deep. The sidekick, alright, this is like the deepest portion I could find. Even in the deepest, the front loader still wins. The sidekick was 6 1/4, and this is a little bit less than 6 inches. Even in this little deep groove, it's rated at 6 inches. Now, obviously it's not a significant difference. But there's like no real reasons. Alright, here's how I'm gonna end the video. If you're like me, you're environmentally conscious, you want to use a machine that's water efficient, but also get your clothes done. So don't comment about how I tweaked my water valve. I turned it like one time. So you would potentially use your sidekick as opposed to using your full-size washer if you only have a few clothes to wash, which I used to do. Don't do that. It's way more effective, It makes way more sense to just use your front loader because these things are so efficient, especially if you didn't tweak your water valve, it'll use even less than this. If you probably have a smaller machine, like this machine is one of the biggest ones that they make, it's 5.2 cubic feet. So if you have like a 4.5 or 5 cubic feet machine, you're probably going to use even less. Because your water switch is going to respond differently than mine. Because they're the same water switches, but I have a larger capacity, so it's going to take more pressure for it to get activated. So, yeah, you're 100% going to use less water than this. And you are going to get the clothes done faster, like 10 minutes faster, like 13 minutes faster. And you're going to get a text message when it's done if your Wi-Fi is set up. And you don't have to be here to add the fabric softener. And it's going to spin faster, so your drying time is going to be decreased, which is more efficient. There's literally no reason for you to use your sidekick if you're trying to use it just to wash a smaller load. Now, for you that have large families that produce a lot of dirty laundry, and you literally can't fit all of your dirty laundry in a 5.2 cubic feet machine, or if you have the signature version, the 5.8 cubic feet machine, and you have some stragglers, then throw them into your sidekick washer. That extra cubic foot of space, drastically increases the size of this machine. And, you can ultimately get your laundry done a little bit faster. But that is literally the only reason why this little guy is useful. Otherwise, it's just a nice piece of tech to add to your laundry facility. Which, you know, I'm a nerdy guy, so I'm cool with that. But if you're trying to be efficient, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. All right. Hope you learned something. Hope I didn't hurt the feelings of too many people. And I'll see you guys on the next video.